Annyeonghaseyo! Hey everyone! Welcome to PerlVIsion! So today I thought I'd start with an introduction, how I got started into knitting and crochet and all that good stuff, and then get into the fiber parts that everyone wants to see. So I probably started, the first time I learned to crochet was when I was 7, and I was terrible. We used just craft store, Red Heart, cheap yarn. And my aunt is the one I remember teaching me. And I think I made a square that was this big. It was supposed to be a scarf at some point. And mine was not flexible at all. It was just a rock. I was so tight. I was just pulling and get in there and rip it out. It was super bad. And it really puts you off doing it for a while, so I didn't really succeed anywhere there. My next big foray into crochet would have to be in, I guess it was high school. I decided to make one of those ripple afghans. My mom made one for each of us when we were kids. Loved it to death. Super great. I thought, it would be really cool to have one that was bigger and, would cover the whole bed. So that was my plan. I chose some really light blue purple color, bought all the yarn, and I started on this adventure of ripple afghan. It was much better. It was not a rock. But after about, 2 feet, 3 feet, I don't remember how many feet, after a while, I got bored and frustrated and tired and feeling like it was never going to end. I am not a ripple afghan person. Not for me. I'm not very good at scarves either, but we'll get to that later. So I think my mom ended up finishing it for me. So now I have 2, and I love them both. And when I first moved to Korea, I actually brought one with me in my bag. So I had a blanket no matter what. So those were my first crochet projects. Later in high school, those fluffy boa scarves were really popular. Everyone was wearing them. And my grandma was actually making some really simple ones. So she taught me how to knit and how to knit the really simple scarves. And we made them really thin, maybe only 4 inches across, maybe 5. And they didn't have to be super long because it was just supposed to be an accessory. It wasn't supposed to keep you warm. You didn't need to double, triple wrap or do big fluffy loops. So I made a few of those. That was super fun. My knitting needles were straight needles. They were this long and they were big blue, and it was definitely funny to be doing this and making stuff. So that was pretty much when I kind of got started, and I kind of put it on the back burner when the scarves weren't super popular anymore, and you get kind of tired of making the same things over and over. So then in university, I had a part-time job, and one of my coworkers, Annie, Stitchin' Misfit, shout out again to her. She does all sorts of things too. And she brought her knitting to work, and she was doing way more cool stuff than scarves and ripple afghans. And so we got started talking, and she suggested that I pick it up again basically and try some new patterns. She introduced me to Ravelry, which is a pattern collection site. It's a really great place for certainly beginners to go and find new patterns, free patterns, of course. I'll be, later on, you'll get to see me link stuff below. And there'll be links on Ravelry because that's where I know where they were from. So all sorts of cool stuff. You start putting patterns in your queue, getting everything ready to go. It starts to get you really excited about knitting and making things. At this point, I didn't know anything about yarn. I didn't know anything about where to buy good yarn. I just go to like Hobby Lobby or Joann's or even Walmart. Probably just using Red Heart or Super Soft or just, easy, cheap yarn. And definitely nothing less than like worsted weight, because I didn't know what to do with any of those. And I definitely was not going to make socks. That was a lie. You'll find out later. So what led me to here is over time I got started into doing it again, fell in love, found new patterns, did more stuff, and now it's been a really long time, and here's where we are. Okay, so tools. What do I use to do my craft? Well, for crochet, it's nothing fancy. I just picked up a pack of needles, crochet hooks. It came with basically all the sizes you could need. I probably got this one from Joann's. Just easy, simple, cheap. I don't crochet that often, but I wanted to be able to have sizes if I needed to. For knitting, like I said, I started on those giant, size 10 blue straight needles. I didn't know anything about circulars or double pointed. I had no idea. But I got into it and I discovered Knit Picks and the wonders that is interchangeable needles. And my lovely mother gave them to me for Christmas. So I have them in this cute little pouch. It's a little custom handmade kind of thing. The company is called Magpie Wishes. They are based in Texas, I believe. So I got them at a local quilting yarn show. I hope it's not upside down. Oh, good, it's not. Okay, so it's like a quad fold. So it goes down real small, like the size of your passport, but then thick. It has a little flap. So it's got your place for your needles in the front, a little pocket down here for cable needles or cable caps. Then your big cables can go in the back, and I have a little card here to show you what size my DPNs are so I can remember, because they're like toothpicks, guys. So my set is from Knit Picks. The aluminum interchangeable and the Harmony, I want to say 4-inch DPNs. So they're awesome. I love them. And I love that I have the cable needles in pretty much, the cables in pretty much every size. So that makes it really easy for me to use whatever I need to use, long, short. I think the smallest cables they have are 16 and the largest are 60, but then they also have cable connections, so you could combine two 60 cables and make a 120 cable. If you were doing a knitted blanket or something, you might need that. I don't know if I have a cable connection, but we're good for now. I got lots of cables. Other tools, of course, I have a tape measure that I carry all the time. I have my clicky, which I will put a picture of clicky here. And I also have lots of beautiful stitch markers. Some I got are from exchanges, and they're very beautiful. They're beaded. You'll see them on some of my whips. And then I, of course, have just some safety pin ones. They're plastic safety pins. You get at Joann's or Michael's. They're in here, and grab them. So these are great because they open. So if you need to take them out, or you want to put them in the middle of a work to a start row or where that section counted from. So these are actually really useful and great. I recommend those. Because I live in Korea, it's really hard to find things that I like or I need. And ordering online is not always easy. So I actually got a box of, these are like mini plastic binder, like ring binders. I don't know how to describe them. If you can see, they're just like snaps. But they're really small, and I thought those are great. And you get 27 for like $1 or $2 max. So be creative with your stitch markers, ladies. Those would also come out of your knitting if you needed to. So those are simple, easy. What else do I carry? Oh, I usually carry my cable needle, which I believe it's in my bag. My cable needle actually also has a mini crochet hook on the other edge. I will put a picture of that here. And so that's great because not only do you have a cable needle when you need it, but its small, tiny crochet hook means when you drop your stitches accidentally, freak out. Wait, it's okay. You have a crochet hook. You can get it out and fix it pretty easily. So I think that's great, and a great tool to have. I do have some needles for sewing in ends or things like that. I don't really carry them with me. I use them if I need them, which is not often because, again, I use that mini crochet hook all the time. So those are my tools of the trade. I have other needles that I bought here in Korea. I'll probably show them later. I don't use them very often. Again, I have my beautiful Knit Picks ones that I use all the time. And that's pretty much it. So let's start with some finished objects. Some things that I've made and completed and still have. So some of my stuff at the beginning, Okay, let's start with some finished objects. So a lot of the things that I made at the beginning of my time getting into knitting again, I made for other people. I wasn't someone who needed 10 hats and 5 scarves and all these things. And so I wanted to make things for people. And I've always kind of been that way. I love to make things for people. So I don't have a lot of my stuff that I finished, but I have some things. One of my first things is a calorimetry is the pattern. It's a free pattern. I will link it down below. Lots of things will be linked down below. I will put a picture of what it looks like here. And this is my finished objects. I have 2 of them actually. So I have a smaller one. So it's just like a band. And it has a button in the back. And you don't have to make buttonholes because of the short row. It already has buttonholes. So you just put the button wherever you like. So what's interesting, special about this is I was still learning and practicing, and I don't know if some knitters will be able to see it. You can see in the ribbing, focus, all of my purl stitches are twisted at the bottom down there. Okay, so all my purls are twisted, but up here at the top, they're straight. So thank you, Annie, for fixing that for me. I had no idea. When you do garter stitch, you can't really tell. Or when you do, when you're always doing it the same way, you just think, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. And so doing ribbing for probably the first times, that's how I found out that I was twisting my stitches. So yeah, learning experience. I love it. This is my favorite winter hat that I wear these days all the time. So the next thing I made was a scarf. I made a scarf. Here it is. It's beautiful colors. I believe this is just like Red Heart or I don't think it's Karen Stitch for this off because it's a variegated. I think it's like Red Heart Super Soft is what they call it. It's actually quite soft considering I know it's Red Heart and it's nothing fancy. This is a free pattern. It's called the Pioneer Braid. It is all garter stitch with short rows. And my scarf is probably, well, let's see, we'll fold it in quarters. Just about 5 feet long, maybe a little bit longer. It's not quite long enough to wrap around like 2 times and tie it and have it be cute. This is definitely a 1 loop scarf. I love it, but it's small. And it's small because I got bored. I'm just not a scarf person. I get bored. I don't want to just do the same thing forever. It gets boring. But this pattern is beautiful. It would look even prettier with a like a self-striping yarn, something that would be more blocky than this variegated, but you can still see the line of the patterns. It's beautiful. So that's that. Well, if you have a scarf, you need a hat to match. So I made a second calorimetry. This one is bigger. I think I got carried away. It also doesn't fit me, so I don't wear it very often. But again, big, fluffy hat, easy to wear, super fun, cute pattern, fast. So I do recommend the calorimetry pattern for a quick headband hat if you like those. So, those are the first 2 things I completed. The next thing that I completed didn't happen until probably like I came to Korea. So, in a crochet finish, I have made scrubbies. This is the, I think it's just called the Spiral Scrubby. Some people like to call them tribbles because they just multiply. You just make them all the time. This one is actually made with a Korean yarn that's like fuzzy plastic. I'll show it to you in a little bit. I have more. And cotton mixed together. I actually don't recommend that you do this one. It's not my favorite. I do recommend just the Korean plastic yarn. So for those of you who have a source, Korean plastic yarn, get it. It's good for scrubbies. Way better than the cotton I've been using. I have another one that I finished in just the plastic yarn, but I use it so it's dirty and I didn't think you'd want to see it. So scrubbies. The next thing is something that I started. I remember starting it on the plane when I moved to Korea. The pattern is also free. It's from Knitty, knitty.com. Again, link is below, of course. The pattern is beautiful. It's called Klapoti. I can't remember which Knitty it's from. Again, link. So there you go. It's a shawl scarf pattern. There you go. There you can really see it. It's knit on the bias. I did use a kind of variegated striping yarn, and it has these beautiful drop stitches, which are totally scary the first time you drop them, but when it's finished, it makes a beautiful pattern. Mine is not blocked. I don't have blocking supplies here in Korea yet, so it's just wear it as a scarf for now, but super gorgeous. Size, I'm not really sure. Maybe 5 feet, maybe 6. 5 feet. I'm gonna go 5 feet. The pattern has the dimensions. I think I missed a repeat somewhere, but it's finished. It only took me like 4 years, but that's okay because it's finished. So. This is super warm. I love it. This yarn, I'm not sure what it is, but I have the label here. It's a mix for sure. Let me find, rustle, let me find the label. It's easier to do when I can look in the bag. Here it is. Okay. It's called Mongoose. Oh, no, Monsoon. Monsoon. Sorry, it's called Monsoon. It is 30% wool, 70% acrylic. There's the label. Monsoon. Okay, let's talk whips. Things I have started and haven't finished yet, which is like everything. I'm not a very productive knitter. I start lots of things, but I don't finish them. We'll start with the most recent one that I started, and then we'll go, I guess, backwards in time. So the first one that I have is a hat. The pattern is called Pretty Chilling Hat. Picture here. And it comes in two different weights, worsted weight and a fingering weight. I'm doing the fingering weight one, so it'll be nice and light and I can wear it for a pretty long time, I hope. Also, that's what I had. So here is what I have so far. It is a cable lace pattern. If I kind of hold it like that, you can see the lace. Very simple lace, very simple, single cable. It goes all the way around. I'm probably about a third of the way finished. Those are the cute stitch markers I talked about earlier. Here's my yarn. This is from Knit Picks. It's a fingering weight called Stroll. Okay, I have to look. Stroll. I was right the first time. They are like hand painted, hand dyed yarns. Very pretty, very soft. It is a 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. So great for making stuff you're gonna wear because you don't have to worry too much about shrinkage. I love superwash. So that's my hat. I'm probably about a third of the way done. I probably said that. I can't remember. Most recent one that I'm working on. Okay, the thing I started just before that, a start, is a blanket. And it is all tangled up. Okay, here we go. I should have prepared this a little bit better here. Okay, so here we go. This is the pattern. I believe it's called the Harrison blanket. It is not free, I don't think. But I will still link it below. This is what it's going to look like. So very pretty. I chose this soft baby green cotton. I believe it is a 100% cotton. Oh, nope. It is 50% cotton, 10% wool, and 40% AC Cashmere Touch, which I'm not sure what that is. I bought this yarn in Korea. It's the Donghua Yarn Company, I guess. You can buy it in this giant tube, which is so cool. Yarn. And I actually have two of these tubes that are the same lot number because I have no idea how much yarn it's going to take. They come in 50-gram balls, which are approximately 170 meters. But it's fingering or sock weight. So, the original plan for this blanket was to be for a friend who was going to have a baby. So there's the whole blanket length. The baby is 2, so not productive person. I figure I'll work on it, and eventually, when somebody has a baby, I'll have a baby blanket. Super soft, super light. Hopefully we'll get back to that someday. But that is whip number 2. that was started in Korea. Started that one in Korea. Another whip. Well, let's see. I have 2 pairs of socks that I have started. So I said before that I was not going to knit socks. I didn't see the point. I can buy socks. I can buy cute socks with patterns or characters or whatever. And then I lied. And these should have been, I guess, a finished object. But this is my first pair of socks. I did make 2 of them. They are a little short. Which is a disadvantage of doing top-down socks, I guess, is sometimes it can be hard to measure how long they need to be. So this pattern is called like Seriously Simple Socks or something. It's a free pattern. I'll link it below. Super great. Just a little bit of rib detail on the side so you feel fancy, but plain, basic socks. I did finish a pair of socks, and then I was like, "Ooh, that was cool! I made socks. Let's make more socks." And then I didn't finish any of them. So this next one is I'll link the pattern below. I can't remember the name. I'll put a picture here. And it is a beautiful cabled sock. So it has a large cable in the front, very detailed. And it's hard to see, a small cable in the back. So this is actually the back of the sock. And that'll go down like to the heel. And this is going to be to the front of the toe. This is all I have done of 2 socks. I have the top, barely, of 1 sock. The yarn I'm using for this is from Knit Picks. It is also a stroll. This one is called Focus. There we go. It's called Pea Pod, which makes sense because it's the color of peas. Don't look at my face. Okay, so there's that. It is also, because it's stroll, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. This is 230 yards in 1 gram, so in 50 grams, sorry. So that's pretty great. I have 2 balls of that, so we can make socks eventually. We'll get back to those, I guess, someday. So that's my second pair of socks I started. And because one must continue to start things and not finish them, especially because that sock is really complicated, lots of cabling. I did start a basic sock. Oh my gosh, it's so stretched out, guys. Very basic. It is huge now. It's been super stretched out. This yarn is very stretchy. I have no idea what it is anymore. But if you can kind of see this part, it's really like zoom, springy. And I'm not sure how to knit it. I knit too loose, and I feel like it doesn't have any, and then I knit it too tight, and I'm worried I'm not gonna, like, I feel like I'm really just pulling it. I have 2 balls of that. It's beautiful. I love the color. But I have nothing done, but that's the beginning of 1 sock, which will probably just have to be frogged at this point, and started over. So those are my sock whips. Sock whips. Got lots of sock whips. 2 more whips. I have 2 more. The next one is, this is a hand-dyed bamboo. I'm pretty sure it's hand-dyed. A lot of my stuff doesn't have labels anymore because it's just happened to go away. So there's that. Beautiful colors. I believe it looks like I was knitting a scarf. That's about as far as I got. It's knit on the bias. It looks like it's a simple knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, yarn over, all the way across with an increase. I may or may not have made this pattern up. I have no idea. I love how the color is turning out, kind of like patchy, but also clumping together. we'll see how that goes. Again, probably another one that will go to the frog pond because I just don't know what's going on with it. I am a terrible note taker, so I need to work on that. Writing notes down and writing patterns and what I'm making and where I am so I can remember. Okay, that leads us to the final and the ultimate whip. Okay, so you'll notice all my stuff is small and simple, nothing really big or extravagant. Like I said, I started a blanket, I never finished it. Scarves take forever. So this whip is the best. Save the best for last, right? When I was still in college, I started the Central Park hoodie. Picture here. It is a gorgeous sweater, cardigan, pullover, however you want to call it. Everyone's got a different name. That has a hood. Which I love. I was all about the hoods in college. Simple cable work, nothing too stressful. It is a pieced together pattern for a sweater. It's not like top down or bottom up. So it's a piecing pattern, which I thought would be better for me to start with because I can then finish a piece and feel accomplished instead of having this sweater that's going on forever and ever and ever. I think it's been like 7 or 8 years since I started this sweater. So pieces that I have finished, I have the back. The back is done. So there's that big cable in the back and then 2 more on each side. You leave it on the needles because you have a hood. That's where the hood attaches. So you piece all your pieces together and then pick up these stitches for the hood and the label. I have both fronts done. So there's the front. And here's the other front. Again with stitches ready to be picked up for the hood on the cable. And I have half, maybe 3/4 of one sleeve. Again, big, beautiful cable. So here is the problem with this whip. It would be very easy to pick it up, finish one sleeve. I have one more sleeve left. Put it together, knit the hood, done. Many of you don't know because you're my YouTube people. But when I was in college, I weighed a lot more. Like 45 kilos more. I've lost over 100 pounds since then. And said sweater is rather large. So Central Park hoodie comes in a regular and plus sizes, so everyone can make it, which is wonderful. I love that. So definitely support people that support big people too. However, it's going to be huge. And as much as it would sadden me to frog the whole thing, it is a huge possibility of something that might need to happen. So, still undecided, leaning towards frogging, curious about opinions. There's a poll. Click, 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 click. Frog or no frog, my CPH, Central Park hoodie. Arguments have been for both sides, and I'm still really torn about what to do. It's been sitting around for a very long time. Even before I lost weight, it was just sitting around. So if it sits around longer, it's not hurting anybody. I have plenty of yarn to finish it, or I have plenty of yarn to frog and start over. So that are my whips. That are my whips. Let me know about that. Plans. What am I going to make? What am I going to do? Well, I would like to finish some whips that I have already going. That would be good. Maybe I'll work in some of those socks that I need to work on. Other plans, just using what stash I have here in Korea. I have so much stash at home, you guys, in the States. I slowly plan on bringing that here and using it up. I've got sweaters worth of certain colors and stuff that I'm really excited about, that I want to make. So just working what I have for now, and then we'll go from there, I guess. So what do I have? Yay! It's the part where we get to look at all the yarn. Okay, let's look at the boring yarn first. So the yarn for the Central Park hoodie, I have lots of it. It is super soft. I am not sure where it's from. Maybe Joann's? It's called Sensations Lustrous Lamb. It's very soft. It is a wool blend. I don't know if you can see the label. There we go. It's 80% acrylic and 20% wool, so it'll be warm, but also it's hardy. I got lots of this. The color is Kelly Green. Super soft for an acrylic-y blend yarn. So I've got lots of that, so I have plenty to finish my Central Park hoodie, maybe make something else. Next boring yarn I have, this giant ball of cotton is from Bernat, how do you say that? I'm not sure. Giant ball. Blue and brown are like my favorite color combinations ever. So of course, if I was bringing cotton across the world, it was going to be the blue and brown one. This was used to make some dishcloths. Not sure what I'm going to do with it now that I found better scrubby stuff. Okay, let's look at the scrubby stuff. Next, we'll look at my Korean yarn. So, excuse the crinkle. This is, okay, it says knitting yarn. Okay, guys, this is plastic yarn. It is the best stuff ever. It's super, like, it looks like fuzzy, kind of like eyelash yarn. Let's see if I can find the end here. Ooh, look at that. There you go. Pull it out so you can see it. So it's got like kind of like an eyelash style with plastic and string. Can you focus? No, there we go. So that's what that looks like. Okay, this makes the best scrubbies. The best. Everybody in Korea uses this stuff to make scrubbies. They have really cute ones. Like, they make dresses, they make apples, all sorts of cute little shapes. The dresses actually have like an inside, so it's like a skirt. Super cute. I just make round scrubbies with them because they're fast and they're amazing. I won't go back. So I love this plastic yarn. Plastic yarn, guys. It's the best. So that's my scrubby yarn. Next, I have a plethora of sock yarns. So I have what's left. This is the sock yarn that these socks were made out of. Again, Knit Pick Stroll, guys. Love it. This one is called, let's see if I can get my face out of the video so it'll focus. Lucky Multi. So it's like springy, Irishy on that one. I don't know how much. This is not a full ball. I know I used a little bit to make some socks. I'm not sure how much is left, but I got that. I have 2 balls of Sensations Truly, which is a superfine wool blend. Guys, oh my gosh, my hair is everywhere. Truly superfine wool blend. It is 55% wool, 30% nylon, and 15% rayon from bamboo. So, truly. I have that in light blue. I have 2 balls of that. Sock weight, of course. Next, okay, this is Knit Picks Felici in Caprica. Felici is their self-striping sock yarn. I have 2 balls of that. This one doesn't have a label on it, but they're both full. I haven't used them. So I got more sock yarn there. And this is my other ball of Stroll. This is called Summer Vacation. How awesome is that? I'm pretty sure this was a present from one of my knitting friends. And so again, that's a sock weight in a cake. It comes in a skein, and my friend had helped me cake this for me. So it's easy to use. Not sure what I'm going to make with that. Could be socks, could be something else. Love the color though. How great is that? And then also my last stash, which I kind of showed earlier, is the Harrison blanket stash yarn. I have so much of this. Total, I think it comes, how many balls are in here? 5 balls in a tube, and I have 2 tubes, so I've got 10. Hopefully that's enough for a blanket, but I might have leftover. It's also a sock weight, so we can make whatever we want with it. That is, I think, everything. Oh, everything. Plans, stash, whips, finishes, good. I would love for you guys to comment down below if you have ideas, if you have pattern suggestions, if you have websites you want me to check out that you get patterns from. Like I said, I get a lot of my patterns from Ravelry. I love to look at the Knitty stuff. Those are also free patterns. And a few I've paid for. So pictures and links, everything down below. Check it out in the description box. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and you kept watching more than 10 minutes. Also, hit that subscribe button. Let me know that you want to hang out here. And look forward to my next video. I'm so excited, you guys. Video number 2 finished. And this was the first one for About Knitting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!